Good evening, viewers. You're watching India Today. Welcome to yet another edition of the Democratic Newsroom. The Prime Minister is on a whirlwind tour. A tour going state by state at the back of the success of Operation Sindoor. Now, the opposition calls it from Operation Sindoor. Now, the Prime Minister is on Operation Votebank. The big question, is it par for the course where politics is concerned, or is it what the opposition deems ethically wrong? Well, we have with us our band of editors of the India Today group, all coming together with their opinion on what side of that divide they stand on. Let me quickly introduce to you, from the right of me is my colleague Soesha. She's just joined the India Today family. I have Akshata Nandgopal, my colleague. On the left, I have Gaurav Sawant, and then, of course, a new edition, Anjali Ishtwar. We're also, through the course, going to teleport. You know, that's the beauty of technology. I have with me, coming in, teleported from Maharashtra, Mumbai, consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai, and with him our colleague Sahil Joshi. So we're going to have them through the course of this discussion, debate. So let's get cracking right away. Rajdeep, let's begin with you. What's at the back of Operation Sindoor success? Prime Minister today was in West Bengal, Bihar is coming in from Rajasthan, Gujarat will be onwards to Lucknow. What do you make of it, Rajdeep? Operation Votebank or par for the course? This is what politics is all about.
Par for the course, Preeti. This is politics. What do you expect politicians to do but politicize issues? The era of political statesmen is over. We have been replaced by political pugilists and political strongmen who will use every opportunity to exploit any situation for political benefit. The truth of the matter, therefore, is that that's exactly what's playing out at the moment. You're seeing politicians, particularly in the ruling party, particularly the Prime Minister himself, who's very good at it. It's not that people before Narendra Modi ji didn't try and use every event to harness it to their own image and their political vote bank. It's just that it's done now more brazenly and unapologetically than ever before. Just two instances. You've got an all-party delegation that's leading the India charge abroad, and you've got the Prime Minister taking on his political opponents at home today, the latest example being in Bengal. And even more interestingly, you've got someone like Nishikant Dubey, a BJP MP who's part of one of these all-party delegations, then happily tweeting against Rahul Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, possibly going back to Jawaharlal Nehru and what they did or didn't do. I mean, it is politics at, some would say, its very worst. Some would say at its best, because politicians are there to get votes, even if it means getting votes over the valor of our soldiers. That's tragic according to me, but maybe that's why I'm not a politician.
Well, Gaurav, would you want to weigh in on what Rajdeep said? And importantly, on the question that we're mooting this Democratic Newsroom edition, what do you make of it?
So when you have something to talk about, you talk about it. If we talk about, if we go back in history, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, naturally he could not have spoken of 1962 India-China war, because that was a massive debacle for India. And clearly he couldn't have said that, that operation, in any rally, he couldn't have spoken about it, So 1962 was a disaster. 1965 was some kind of a stalemate. So what could Lal Bahadur Shastri talk about? He did talk about Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, and that's something that stayed with us. But unfortunately, losing Haji Pir, and Preeti, you'd understand the pain of losing Haji Pir after winning it in battle, since your father fought in that war. Well, that's nothing that he could tom-tom about. And sadly, he passed away in Tashkent. If we were to talk about tom-tomming your achievements, Indira Gandhi won the 1971 war, cut Pakistan into two. Bangladesh was born, and even in 2025, the Congress party is talking about it. Not just in 1971 or subsequent elections. Indira Gandhi as the strong lady. Is somebody talking about Sam Manekshaw? Was that politics at its best or politics at its worst? In 2025, the credit is being given to Indira Gandhi and not Sam Manekshaw. So if Prime Minister Narendra Modi talks about it, well, it's par for course.
All right, I'm going to go to Sahil, but I want to give my 2 pence on this, Rajdeep, because I tend to disagree with what you say that, with what is going on at this juncture, because primarily if you look at it, Rajdeep, one would think this is lazy politics by the Congress, because look at their timeline, their social media timeline. They still have AI images of Indira Gandhi schooling Narendra Modi, the current Prime Minister, on how she dealt with 1971. So the Congress, even to this day, is trying to leverage 1971. Let's even go back to 1971, Rajdeep. Every time there's a strong political leader, they will politically leverage a military victory. At that point of time, the entire parliament resounded with the chants of Joy Bangla, Joy Indira Gandhi, long live Bangladesh, long live Indira Gandhi. So would you reckon, Sahil, to bring you in on this, lazy politics by the Congress right now, they need to find something more, and they have it in their arsenal to attack the BJP and the government with. They're just resorting to, oh, this is vote bank politics. It's bound to happen. They leverage it in 2019, Balakot. They'll leverage it now for the Bihar elections.
Well, of course. I mean, in 2019, what we saw that despite Election Commission coming out in open and saying that you cannot use Pulwama attack or the Balakot airstrike in the election campaign, but despite that, nothing could stop the BJP from using it. And this has not happened only in 2019. I remember after Kargil war, Rajdeep might know it very clearly that they celebrated Vijay Divas, and Vajpayee, even Prime Minister Vajpayee and the BJP at that time was using the Kargil victory, for the election victory as well. So this has happened in the past. Now, why BJP is putting its step forward and using this is basically because BJP is trying to compare it with 2008, whereas the Congress tries to compare it with 1971, which is, and both the situations are completely different situations altogether. But I would just like to add one interesting point to this. For me, the most interesting statement right now is Nishikant Dube's statement in Saudi Arabia. Where he's talking about the secular India, he's also talking about there is no a difference of the minority or majority community in India. So everybody is having a completely different tune when they go
that's what, Sahil, what we call an offshore secularist.
No, but why offshore secularist?
Because his words in
India is a secular country.
I'm telling you why offshore secularist, because his words in India are completely contrary to what his words abroad
are. I am
are.
sorry, that's the way some may want to perceive.
I'll quote him.
I'm not talking about Nishikant Dube in particular, but I'm talking about India being a secular country. It's only for vote bank politics that some may try to show that Muslims are not happy or Muslims are persecuted. I am sorry, Muslims are happiest in India if they wanted. Not one Muslim has left this country. Point one.
But we're talking about Nishikant Dube.
But let's also not paint a picture that India is not a secular country or Muslims are unsafe in India. Because that does.
But he's not. Okay, 1 second. I think you've taken it.
Why
1 second,
Nishikant Dube? The first week after
Dube.
Pahalgam attack by the BJP's social media handle, which says that dharm pucha jati nahi, and after that when
but that is
he's talking about
so what is wrong? Dharm pucha unhone thodi jati पूछ के मारा.
But he is talking about Nishikant Dube. One second, okay, let me open up the panel. Sahil, 1 second, allow me to open up the panel. We were talking about Nishikant Dube. I think Gaurav has misunderstood what you were trying to say.
I'm just reading between the lines.
But there's nothing to read between the lines. What is there to read between the lines? We're talking about Nishikant Dube. He goes and says something entirely different abroad than what he says in India. Okay, allow me to open up the debate. Akshita, your point.
That's how it should be, isn't it? That when you go abroad, you stand as one country, you speak about India. You can go ahead and criticize what you want in domestic soil, which is what you talk about the opposition as well. When they're going abroad, we speak in one voice, which is what Nishikant Dube is also doing. So I don't know why we're suddenly like, oh my God, why is he making these comments abroad and not saying the same thing here? That's how it's supposed to be. And when we talk about politics over this entire issue, when the Prime Minister speaks about Operation Sindoor at a rally, I tend to wonder what we define really as politics over Operation Sindoor. What crosses the line and what doesn't? When is it declared politics and when isn't it? This is the Prime Minister of the country talking about a successful operation. It's taken political will to do it. It's because he's, along with everyone else, taken a decision that, look, we're going to hit Pakistan, that has happened. So what's wrong with him coming out and saying,
the politics
that, look, we did this?
The politics, the question is that he's going state by state, which I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah, so what is the politics
every
here?
political party do.
So what is the politics? If the
that
Prime
you're trying to
Minister
milk it for a
speaks.
vote bank,
No,
for
what if-
votes.
Why
Okay,
is it a
so
vote bank?
I think the timing, you have to look at it. We all know elections are coming up in many states, and 2026 we have quite a few elections coming up. So, of course, Prime Minister Modi is the face of this action that has happened. But when you see a photograph of the Prime Minister in the uniform, hoardings all the way on his way to
No, what's
his
wrong
dais.
with that?
I'll tell you what's wrong with that. It's the armed forces that should be adorned over there.
Yes. Seriously, taking
No,
away
but if
credit
you-
Not-
from them.
not
I'm
ju-
sorry,
no,
you
not
can't have
the
armed
uniform.
forces in a
Just
political
a
rally.
second.
Then
Not in the-
that
Has he
would be
taken away
politics.
credit? You have a faceless soldier.
Has he taken away
photograph
credit
that
from
he can
them?
put. I'm not
Allow her
saying
to
just
speak.
At
No,
a
one
political
second.
I'm not
rally-
saying
Make
don't-
your point.
At a
Okay, one
political
second.
rally-
Make
I'm
your
saying
point.
don't put General Upendra Dwivedi's face, but you can have, if you want to glorify, why can you, it's not a political rally.
But
Come on,
again,
it's
coming
a,
back to
Let
Akshita's
me
point,
finish
it
and I'll come to
requires
you quickly.
political will to take the decision that the government has taken, and time and again they have been pointing out to how this will was lacking in the 10 years of the Congress, and especially after the surgical strike, after Balakot and after Operation Sindoor. And again I come back to Akshita's point, where is the politics? What do you define as politics? Because when he's speaking at these rallies, in terms of what he's saying is not different from what the country is
All right,
feeling
can I
on
just- Rajdeep wants to come in. Let me
on
carry
his
us
decisive
back.
action against
We go back to
Pakistan.
Rajdeep
one
Sardesai.
additional
One
point.
second, one
Just
second. I'll
one
come
point.
back to you. Let me go full circle. Rajdeep, go ahead, make your point.
You know, the Prime Minister of the country will not chair an all-party meeting on Operation Sindoor. The Prime Minister of the country will not agree to a special session of Parliament. The government of the day will not agree to answer questions about security lapses that took place in Pahalgam. Whether our planes were downed or not, we are not supposed to ask those questions. If I ask that question, I am deemed anti-national. Akshita wanted to know what is politics. Politics is when you even claim that the operation is ongoing. These are the words of the government, not mine. Operation Sindoor is ongoing, and you are going state by state holding road shows claiming that you won the battle.
But
I mean,
sir,
come
are there
on.
operational
If
details
Operation
being
Sindoor
put
is
out
still
for us to
ongoing,
object to
if
it?
there are, no, one
Well,
minute. If this is Operation Sindoor is ongoing, please focus continuously on the military objectives. If you've not achieved them, and
No, how do we
continue.
So I'm
define-
so sorry.
how
Are
do
you
we
trying to
define
say, no, hold on,
Is this the-
permit me,
is this
Rajdeep.
the-
You
I-
want the
I-
Prime Minister to
I-
focus
is this
on
the-
military
I-
objectives.
One
When the
by
Prime
one,
Minister
nobody can
says
hear anything.
something,
Gaurav coming in.
You know,
Rajdeep sir, wait one second. Rajdeep, wait. Let Gaurav
let
come.
Rajdeep complete his point. So that
Going
then
on a
I'll-
road show, waving to audiences, then we won the war. Then why do you say Operation Sindoor is ongoing?
Yeah, before Gaurav comes in, let me just I just want to ask something to Rajdeep, because he's just sitting next to me at this point of time. I really want to understand, if suppose it's a political decision, we all accept it, right? It's a political decision that the Prime Minister decided that, okay, we will go inside Punjab and
Oh my
attack
God, come on.
Pakistan. We will just not let it allow to go through. If he takes the credit for it,
No problem.
what is wrong in that?
No, 1 minute.
What is wrong in that?
Let me make it very clear. The Prime Minister will deserve full credit because he
The
takes
way
the risk.
the
One
way
minute, one
the
minute.
way Manmohan Singh takes the credit
Sure.
for opening up the economy.
Okay.
What
One
is
minute.
Fair
wrong
point.
if
That's
the
a point.
Prime Minister takes the
Rajdeep,
credit? Is what
But
I'm
my point is the timing of it. My point is, look, you say the operation is ongoing, right?
Right.
You're still going around the world with your diplomatic outreach. When you're doing that, is that the moment when you go on road shows and celebrate an ongoing operation? I am
Oh,
only
absolutely.
questioning
Let Gaurav
if
come in.
the
Gaurav
operation
come
is
in.
Great
good.
morale
Mrs. Gandhi,
booster for the
Mrs.
country.
Gandhi was very
Rajdeep.
different. The breakup,
Rajdeep,
you
allow Gaurav
cannot
to come.
compare 1971 to Operation Sindoor.
Okay,
1971 resulted in the conclusive defeat of the Pakistani army, their surrender, and the forging of Bangladesh. Please do not compare 71 to 2025. I think
Okay,
that
Gaurav wants
is
to come in.
2025
misleading,
remains an
and that
operation.
would be
The times
falling
have
for a
changed.
government
No,
narrative.
Rajdeep, look. There are some who will celebrate, there are some who will sulk. We are celebrating as a nation for the simple reason
not about
that
sulking.
India has
It's not about
soundly
sulking. Did I say
trashed
you've got to sulk?
Pakistan
No, please.
across 13
Gaurav,
of their air bases
Gaurav,
and
you
radar
have a-
stations. In 21st
Gaurav,
century,
it's not
two
about
nuclear
celebrating
weapon
versus
states
sulking.
have gone head
It's
to
about
head
taking-
and we have
Rajdeep, allow him
trashed
to finish, I'll
Pakistan.
come to you.
Permit me to complete
Yeah,
my point,
allow him to
Rajdeep.
finish, I'll come to you.
Permit me to complete my point, Rajdeep. Yes, every little battle has to be celebrated. Then that ultimate war, when that is won, that has to be celebrated. For the Prime Minister, it's also a question of keeping the morale of the armed forces high, the morale of the nation high, and to ensure that Pakistan's misinformation campaign, disinformation campaign, which is backed by several foreign powers, including China, Turkey, and other countries, we are countering it. We are countering it on our own, Rajdeep.
Okay, I have less time. I want to give everybody. Rajdeep, you wanted to come in for a counter, then I'll go into Akshata. She's been wanting to interject. Make your point, Rajdeep.
No, let's not make this about silly binaries between celebrating and sulking. No one is sulking here. I'm just saying, let's get real. An operation, in the government's own words, is still on. When an operation is still on, do you go on road shows across the country waving as if it's an election rally?
But Rajdeep, it is an election rally.
find
There's
the
an election
optics
in
problematic.
Bihar.
You have every reason to think differently. You have every
It is
reason
an
to
election
think
rally.
differently.
Rajdeep,
I have a
lazy
problem with
politics
that.
too. Okay, one second. One second.
Election
I'll come to you.
election
Anjali, I'll
rally.
come to you now. Akshata, right after that, I'll come to you.
I think we know better than anyone that all year round is an election time in this country. So at no point can you say that, look, it's timed to an election, not timed to an election. Everything is timed to elections first. Second is, Rajdeep, when you say Operation Sindoor is still on, the government has made it fairly clear that this is not just a military operation. It's much beyond that. Ongoing in the sense we continue to target Pakistan on the issue of terror in several fronts, not just militarily. And I don't think the Prime Minister in any of his speeches has given operational details. Also, Anjali, on the issue of who gets credit, give me one speech of the Prime Minister's where he hasn't said our forces, I gave full freedom to our forces and they conducted this strike. If at any point he said, I've done it, I went into Pakistan, I then I understand. He has said that
Roti khalo nahi to meri goli hai. He did, but there's nothing wrong in saying
That
it.
is, no,
Anjali,
did he say
okay,
forces? Did he not say that?
No, but he did take credit for it. He's bound to take credit for it.
But he did do that.
Yes,
I
but
think
he did
Akshata,
both.
you're getting me
Anjali.
wrong.
No,
I'm
he
not
did.
talking about the
Goli
credit.
is not taking credit
Everyone
for it.
takes the credit when there is a win, and it's the political way to do it. What I'm talking about is there are priorities. Maybe a special session is a priority than election rally right now for a Prime Minister, not the tallest leader of BJP.
I understand that.
That may be a priority for the opposition. It may not be a priority for government. So, opposition considers it government doesn't.
Anjali to finish.
A special session is not for the opposition. It is for the entire country because the representatives of entire country are there.
But as the entire country asking for it, there is one political party or two that are asking for it.
Okay, time out. Can I go to
TMC,
Suesha? I
one
don't have much
Congress.
time. I want everyone to get in a word.
I just
Suesha.
want to address a couple of points that everybody has said. Firstly, the fact that yes, a special session of parliament must be done, but fact also remains that elections are around the corner, and if the Prime Minister is going around and talking about it and taking credit, I say to that level,
Yes,
it is
ahead.
all
All
right.
right, allow me to bring in
I don't think there is any
Okay,
harm
one
in
second,
that.
one second.
And
Okay,
also the
Anjali,
fact
one
that the very
second.
messaging and what
Priti.
we are talking
second,
through
you know,
these
but
guys
Suesha,
is totally a
Suesha,
moral
you
issue.
need to
I
also
don't
have
think
one
there is any harm in
point
that.
to make.
But one second, Sai, you know, the
Okay,
fact
I
is
have
every
one point
time,
to make.
I just want to bring in 10 seconds of what I wanted to say. Every time there is a strong leader. We have had a strong political leader. This is all the byproducts of that. You might not compare 1971 to 2025, but 1971, there were pictures of Indira Gandhi on every poster. She traveled through 6 states.
I have one point to
just going ahead on an election tour. She won 4 states out of those 6. But, Sahil, go ahead.
Right.
Make your point.
Yeah. So I also want to raise one more point. You know, there is something which needs to be. I will not use the word clarified, but somewhere India needs to take a very clear stand on that. You know, somewhere some messaging needs to be done. The way Prime Minister spoke about Videshi Mal should not be used. I mean, Videshi vastuon ka istemal na kare. I mean, that's what he said in Gujarat in his rally. He was hinting at China. The way the government,
small eyes.
the government spoke about Turkey. I mean, we should ban Turkey. Similarly, there needs to be some message sent to United States as well. The President of United States, time and again, despite clarifying from the Indian government side, is making some kind of obnoxious statements. That day he was speaking to South African president and he was
Rajdeep,
saying
20
the same thing
seconds,
again,
make your
and how
point.
he was involved in that.
Rajdeep,
So,
final comments,
somewhere
let's just
that
quickly
needs
go.
to
No
be sorted
time, no
out.
time. Sahil,
How
hard
can-
cut. Rajdeep, go ahead, 20 seconds.
How can Donald Trump comes forward and keeps claiming that he's the one who got this done?
Fair point, fair point.
There needs to be
Rajdeep,
some strong message
I
needs
won't
to be
have the
sent
time
to
then
them.
to go to
I said
everyone.
at the very
Rajdeep, you want to
outset-
come in.
I said I said at the very outset, politicians.
Ideally, you should have gone to Gaurav.
No. I said at the very outset, politicians will be politicians. They have every right to they will take credit for whatever achievements they have. But I would have hoped that there would be a more objective assessment by anyone in government while an operation is ongoing, both your strengths and your weaknesses. That would give a greater sense of confidence. Don't make it about yourself, only about your own image building. Make it about building a national consensus.
Yeah, Gaurav, 20
on how
seconds.
to
You know,
deal
the
with
nation
rogue
is doing
army
so
state in
well
Pakistan.
right now, Rajdeep. The fact that even those people who are always criticizing India are very grudgingly admitting that we've done a great job in Operation Sindoor, that we've slammed Pakistan, that Made in India missiles have done well, Made in India weapons have done well, our tactics are better, our training has delivered. Pakistan goofed up at every level. Their Prime Minister has just admitted that वो फज्र की नमाज पढ़ रहे थे और हमारे ब्रह्मोस ने उनको ठोक दिया. But my only point is, you know, we are unable to realize the ground realities of how well we've done.
Okay, with that,
I'm just going to make my quick comment, which is that to me, it's not politics when the Prime Minister speaks of Operation Sindoor and how well we've done. To me, it's not politics when the opposition also questions and seeks accountability or seeks a special session.
20
None
seconds.
of that is politics.
You agree? To what Akshita is saying, that it's lazy politics by the Congress, as you rightly put
said
it.
lazy
Yeah,
politics,
exactly.
not
No, what I'm saying is, I agree with what the BJP is doing.
This is the problem.
It's lazy politics. They could have done better even
20
when it comes
seconds,
to
Anjali.
countering the
I
government
don't
on
think
this.
so. Prime Minister taking credit is wrong. It's absolutely the norm. But the problem lies in how BJP projects it on its social media and the other platforms.
Both
so
sides.
that should be.
Speaking in the voice of the nation.
All right, that's it. That's all we have for now. At least,
harm
okay,
in
my
that.
2 cents. The opposition here is doing the right thing for asking a special session on Parliament. Wrong thing by calling it vote bank politics, because this is par for the course. At least that's what my 2 cents are. A quick break. We'll see you next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. on Democratic Newsroom. Thank you, Sahil and Rajdeep, who coming in to us all the way from our Mumbai studio.